Boom, boom. This is Ken. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. All right, we got a little bit of Azur Lane on tap today. So we got a bunch of stuff to cover, so let's just go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so the Swirling Cherry Blossoms event is live. So we got some stuff to take a look at, so let's go ahead and go over it. All right, so we, of course, do have an exchange shop open. Exchange shop, we're going to see Nushiro in here and Kinu in here. Nushiro is your priority ship in this one. This is the one you want to get. She is one of the best ships in the game. Definitely top tier Vanguard ship. So this is what you want to focus on. So go for her. I like the fact that she's in the shop, which means you can get her guaranteed. You don't have to worry about luck of the build. So you definitely want to focus on that. She is your priority. The other ships are nice. Fairly decent ships, but this is your mainstay. This is what you want to do. Get her, fully limit breaker, max her out her skills, put max equipment on her, stick her in your fleet, and you won't go wrong. I've used her in multiple fleets. I've had her in 3 different fleets at one time or the other, because she was one of the first ships that I actually built, because I was new to the game, fairly new to the game when this first rolled around the first time. So she was one of the first ships that I actually finished completing, and it was definitely worth it. Kino, not a bad ship, but you know, something to, if you're a new player, something that you want to get. Then standard after that, get the blueprints for the ships, priority ships, and purchase all the parts. If you're new to the game, there's some stuff in here you might want to consider. A cat box would be nice to get an SR cat for your Meow officers and stuff like that. So there's some stuff in here, but Nushiro is definitely something that you want to get. I would not even wait. As soon as you hit 8,000, I'd purchase her, get her out, get her running. And start utilizing her as fast as you can, because you won't go wrong with her. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual builds. All right, so here's what we got. All right, so new ships are Kazagumo and Shirayuki. Kasumi is a retrofit. I really had high hopes for this. I was hoping this retrofit was going to give us a little bit more in terms of a little bit more usefulness out of the destroyer class. Unfortunately, it did not. Got a serious boost in her damage, but it does not fix the main problem that destroyers have, which is survivability. There's just no late game use for destroyers. None of them. They die too fast. So again, but she has went from pretty much waifu, what we call waifu material, to actually being useful now. She does do quite a bit of torpedo damage, so she's excellent for low level, low cost farming. Same with Shirayuki, a lot of torpedo damage, excellent for low cost, low oil farming fleets at the beginning of the game. So if you're a new player, these are some ships that you might want to consider getting. Put some points into them, level up those skills, get some good weapons on them, and you'll be able to use them for low level farming to get the ships. To get multiple copies of ships, leveling up other lower level ships and bringing them up. So this is something that you might want to consider. Okay, veteran players are going to want to focus on Kazagumo. Again, she is a destroyer, but she has an interesting skill set in terms of some stuff that she does. She boosts carriers and light carriers, which is interesting for a destroyer. But she also heals on her 4th torpedo. She will heal carriers, not light carriers. So if you have a Saratoga and a Centaur in there with her, she's not going to get it. But your Kagis, Akaga, Shinano, they're all going to be eligible for that heal. I think it's 15%. It's only once a sortie, and it's only on the 4th when she fires her 4th torpedo. So she's got to be alive at that time for her to cast this kill. And she's a destroyer, so she still suffers from the same pitfall all the destroyers do, which is the stat line is just not up to par for late game usage. But I've got her. I did pull her. She was a 3rd ship. I did a 3 pull this morning. Got 2 commons, and she popped up on the 3rd one, which is really that, because she was the one that I wanted. I've got all of these ships except for Shirayuki now. Now that I've got Kazagumo. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do her up to 120, just see if it's something that we can do. She is an SR base, so that might make, but still the stats are not what they're used to be. But we'll see if there's anything we can do that can make her a viable ship towards you know, towards the late game. Not going to put a lot. I wouldn't bet on it. Let's just put it that way. But so Kazagumo for veteran players. All these other ships, they're not bad ships if you utilize them for what you want to utilize them for. Low level farming if you're a new player. These are two ships you want to pick up. Noshiro is in-game top of the line ship. Priority, get her, max her. Yuho's pretty good as well too. Get her. Okay, Saruga, situational but still an excellent ship as well too. So these are all good ships if you're a new player. So these are some ships that this is definitely an event that you want to try to go full tilt and see what you can do. Now in terms of items, Hibiki. Okay, Hibiki's the destroyer. Okay, but Hibiki's excellent ship in terms of weight for material. So you definitely want to get Hibiki. I've got her fully limit broker. Standard fare, 10,000, you get a copy. 20,000, you'll get another copy. There's our first copy. 10, 20, you get one at 40, and you get one at 60. You can use Bolins, purple Bolins, to level her up, so it's not a big deal how far you go. It just goes. It's the Magatama, so this is what you get for the event. Since you're going to be farming it, you definitely want to at least get 8,000 so you can get Nishiro. All right, the vacation offensive is still going on. It's going to be going on until the 7th of July. Again, this is just a really nice little event. I love this event simply because of the fact that it allowed me to get some parts. Okay, I got her outfit. Okay, but there's also, I'm going to snatch up the Bullens, and then I'm just going to pick some nice colorful stuff for my dorm. Okay, I like the fact that they've got some, this is really colorful stuff. You can make something really nice if you're in the dorm building. I'm not really in the dorm building, but I did purchase something for the dorm. I'll show you that here shortly. Let's go ahead and finish with the event outline here. Dawning ceremony. All right, we're in phase 2, of course. So basically, this is just, a lot of people are already going to have this complete. Just go to your missions event, and you'll see all of these right here. Here's your points right here. As you can see, I've already got all of them broke. Kino, Hibiki, Kazumi, Nishiro, and I've got them all built. So I've got probably enough points. How many points do I have? 800, 1200, 1800, 24, 3. I have 3,000, so I have completed it. That is enough to get. I already got the frame, so I can't get it again. But I completed the adventures for that. So, but if you're a new player, that's what you want to do. Fully limit break all the ships. Just get them to 70s. All you got to do, and then take the, use the mats that you need to actually break them up. You'll have 7 days after the event ends to actually complete that portion. You get an extra 7 days. The shop will be open for an extra 7 days. That's well after the event ends as well too, after the sorties are done. So you'll be able to give you an extra week there to do it. So you should be able to knock this out. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. Okay. PR catch up Azumo blueprints. Just make sure every time you do. I completed this already. I think I completed it yesterday. Just make sure you do research, and what you do, you'll automatically get Azumo blueprints, up to 30 of them. Okay. So that's that. So let's take a look at the shops. We've got 2 shops. We've got the shops for the vacation offensive, and then we've got this shop right here, which we already went over briefly. Same as always, get the parts. Okay, get Kino, and Noshiro, of course, is your mainstay. All right. Next, dorm. They did have a purchase that I did make this morning. Classroom setup. So here's the classroom setup. Okay, it comes basically, this is what you get basically. I put this in, this is a computer desk. You should always have a computer in a classroom. I'm not sure why they did not have computer desks. They have these old style desks here. They get the teacher, professor. I also threw in a few chairs. These are EU Union chairs, just so people could sit down. Okay. Oh, got some tokens. So, yeah. So that's what it is basically. So it looks pretty nice, but this is the actual advertisement on the front. When you scroll through the screens there, this is what you get. But yeah, it didn't have enough chairs, so I had to make sure that everybody had a chair to sit down in. So you got these 3 desks here, and you got move over there. Yeah, there she is. Okay, so yeah, everybody's in dorm having fun. They're in classroom. They're happy, and they're gaining XP as they're in a classroom. It is the advertisement right here, Manju High School. Okay, so it's not a nice little thing. I always purchase the standard one, just something new. Keep spice things up. I've got a bunch of tokens, so it's not that big a deal. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Mail. What do we got in the mail? Well, we've got the compensation is in the mail. 2,000, 2,500 oil, and of course some colas. Let's go ahead and get those colas. I got to have those colas. Okay. So as always, the actual event is up. Sorties, standard sorties. This one, A1, 2, A3. Keep going, move through B2, B2, hard modes, C3, D3. And then, of course, you've got the SP and the EX levels, which is where you want to get to for the event. So what do you want to do? Well, the first thing you want to do is focus on choosing which fleet to use, and in doing so, choose which ship to focus on in the shipyard. Okay, my plan is to finish up Seattle, so I'm going to continue to run the Eagle Union fleet until I finish Seattle. Okay, once Seattle is finished, she's an Eagle Union ship, I'll be switching over to Azuma. Azuma is going to be one of my mainstays for PvP. She has a ridiculous amount of hit points and she's a Vanguard ship. So I'm going to be putting her in the Vanguard for mine. So I need to finish the development for her. As you can see, I've already put a dent in her. So once I finish with Seattle, I'll be switching over to my Secure Empire fleet, and I'll run the rest of the event with that fleet just to get the points for Azuma, because you have to run to get the collection points, combat data collection points. You need to run ships of the same fleet, so factions. So if you're trying to do a Secure Empire ship, run Secure Empire ships in your fleet. If you're doing an Eagle Union ship, run Eagle Union ships in your fleet, because that's what gains the combat data collection experience, and you need to run them quite frequently. So it's best, it's any type of usage, so just utilize them for everything. Okay, and that's why you do it. So just make sure that you choose a ship. If you're going to do an Ironblood fleet, make sure you choose one of the Ironblood ships. Okay, that's just, you just make sure you understand that don't waste that fleet running. You're getting the Magatama, but it's also on the side be during this combat day election for the priority ships. Priority ships are the most powerful ships in the game. Okay, and the only way to get them is through the build. Okay, so yeah, Azuma is one of my things. I've already got 156 blueprints for her, so I'll be able to start putting some stars on her. I can probably get up to 5 stars, which means I can start utilizing her fairly quickly for what I want to utilize her for, which is Vanguard and PvP. Okay, so yeah, remember to make sure that you're matching your priority ship with the fleet that you're running, so that you get those combat data collection points, because you can't develop the ship and start leveling the ship with blueprints until you've actually built it. And to build it, you have to get the combat data collection. Okay, so just remember that and don't forget that. All right, so that's pretty much everything that's a turn. The event it's a very standard event. There's nothing different about this event than there was from the last Call to Arms event, other than the fact that that had a UR based ship. Again, Noshiro is the ship that you're looking for to complete. This is your priority. The minute you get 8,000, buy her in the shop. I normally say hold off and buy after the event closes, because you might build the ship. Well, in this case, you want to start using Noshiro as quick as possible if you're a newer player. So, because she is one of the best in the game, so there's no use waiting. Okay, get her, start leveling her up, start utilizing her immediately in your Vanguard, and you're going to notice that you're going to do a lot better. That's how good of a ship she is. As I said, I used her, and I used her in 3 different fleets, because she was one of the first ships that I completely limit broke and started utilizing. Yeah, I was moving her around into my Eagle Union fleet. She even spent a brief amount of time in my HMS fleet, and then of course her mainstay, and still mainstay. She is still one of the mainstays in my Secure Empire fleet. So she's just a very effectiveness across a number of areas. So you definitely want to get her. She has good survivability and she does good damage, and she's definitely a late game ship. So top of the line. So that's your focus. These other ships are good, especially if you're a new player. Sure, you can consume it, like I said, excellent for low level farming, low cost oil fleets. So they do a ton of damage. Kazagumo too, but we're going to have to see, what she's made of. I've got her, so I'm going to see what I can do. She was the 3rd one that I built this morning when I did the thing. I'll just go ahead and show you here the dock. Right, here she is. Okay, so she's got an interesting skill set. This one right here, this is the one I was talking about, where she She buffs carriers and light carriers. This goes up to, I believe it's 15%. Okay. Okay, and then when she fires the first wave of torpedoes, she restores hit points to the lowest hit points of any percentage of receiving carrier float. Okay. Now this is good. So the carriers and light carriers are going to get a little bit of a heal there, but it says if your flagship is a CV, it additionally restores one hit points for that ship. So she's actually going to get a heal to a flagship. So if you got Shinano in your flagship position, then so whatever you put in that position is going to get an extra amount of healing. So it has some usefulness. And then you've got increases the torpedo, as I said before, and reload by 5 when it ships all skills loading torpedo. Next torpedo wave by. So she's going to launch. She's going to do a pretty good damage, and she's going to do a little bit faster, which again, good damage to take out some of those ships. So you understand, and look at this 3 for the oil. That's her cost. Okay. Let's do a comparative analysis on that. To FDG. 19. Okay, see what I'm talking about? That's why these destroyers have, there's no meta late game, but there is plenty that you can do early game with these. Okay, this right here is, by most accounts, I consider to be the best destroyer in the game. I still do utilize her on occasion in my Skura Empire fleet. Okay, but simply because she has some skills that make her survive. Okay, and this is what gives her. This is what gives me the ability to utilize her in my Skura Empire fleets, because not only does she reduce damage to her, but she reduces damage to the main fleet. Okay, so it makes it excellent survivability. She is, in my opinion, the best destroyer in the game at this point. Some people say it's Magatami. She's not bad, Magatami is, but I think it's actually Yuka myself, and that's why I have her in my fleet. I pulled some of the stuff off of her because I was just throwing it onto my Eagle Union, since I'm utilizing some of those to get them up to 120, and I just wanted to run them in some of the higher level hard modes. So I was put some good weapons on, but I did have a full 10 on her, in all sets of the weapons, and was just working on a torpedo at the time. But yeah, so but yeah, we'll have to see. But it's got some capability. But as you can see, that's what destroyers are used for. They don't cost much, so you can put out a fleet that's not even going to run maybe between 10 and 15, 3 ship 10, 15. Then it allows you to farm, quite a bit as you want to get those ships, because you can get all the ships a lot of the ships in the game just through the levels, but you have to keep farming it until you hit that ship, and then you want to get copies of the ship. You can continue to farm it. And it's just used for leveling up the ships as you get them. And you will be getting, if you play the game on a daily basis, you'll be getting ships at a very fast rate. And there's other ways, so that's what they're utilized for. That's what you use the destroyers for. Mid-game, they start to taper off. By 10 and 11, there's just really not a whole lot you can do with them. They just die one. It's not uncommon to be one shot. Okay, I mean, there's some that can survive a couple shots, like Z23, once you get the retrofit for her. Z23, Javelin, Laffy. Those are the starter ships, and Ayanami. They just don't survive long term. I mean, even Z23, I had to take her out of my Iron Blood fleet because she was dying so fast. But in Javelin, I used Javelin for quite some time in my HMS fleet. I've still got her in there right now just because she does pretty good damage. But again, she's retrofitted. So Z23, Ayanami, and Laffy were all are SR, they're epic ships, but once you retrofit them, they become SR ships. And that's what you're going to see. That's what's going to happen to Kasumi. And of course, but we've got, Kazagumo, which is actually a SR by default. So stats are a little bit higher. So we'll just have to see what we can do with her in that terms. But it is a nice entrance, and we'll see what we can do. But it's a destroyer, so we'll have to see what she's capable of. I would not bet the bank on it. All right, so that's what I've got. So pretty good fleet. Get in there, start running it, get those ships built. If you're new, all of these ships are worth investing in. Even the destroyers will be good for your early game when you want to get through those mob bosses real fast with with the retrofit to Kasumi and the Shiryuki, and you're going to see a lot of torpedo damage. So very heavy torpedo damage. So get them stick some torp sticks on them, and you'll be pleasantly surprised at how quick they can clear out that low-level trash. All right. So that's all I got for today. So thanks a lot for watching the video. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Once you subscribe, you'll see a bell. Click on that bell. You get notified each time I do drop a video. Also remember to like and share the video. It does help the channel immensely. So this is Ken Muir coming at you from the corner, signing out.